I'm on a journey to platinum every single Skylanders game. I've already done Spyro's Adventure and Giants, but I unfortunately had to skip Swap Force due to an unobtainable trophy, so instead, we're doing... Whenever I hear about this game, I hear it's the best Skylanders game, and apparently the last good game as well. But I also hear it has one of the hardest nightmare modes in the series. So I'm here to find out if the game is as good as people say it is, and if it's as hard as people say it is, on my journey to get Skylanders Trap Team's Platinum Trophy. Before this video starts, I want to give a huge shout out to my homies Gianmarco and Zayas. They've let me borrow their Skylanders in the past, but this one is special because Trap Team on PS4 is pretty expensive, and so are the Skylanders and Traps themselves. So Gianmarco let me borrow his copy of the game, his portal, along with the Trap Master of every element and some traps, and Zayas had a few other Trap Team characters too. So if y'all are watching, thank you. This video would not be possible without y'all. Anyway, on to the story. As always, the game starts with Eon introducing the Skyland and the Skylanders, and this time he tells us about a group called the Doom Raiders who controlled the Skylands at one point. However, they were defeated by this game's new type of Skylanders, the Trap Masters. After their defeat, the Doom Raiders were imprisoned in Cloudcracker Prison inside a Traptanium bubble, until years later, when the prison was destroyed by the series villain, Chaos, causing the Trap Team to shrink into figures and the Traptanium energy from the prison to turn into traps, which are another item I'll be using throughout the playthrough. In the present day, we're shown the new Skylands Academy, led by a new guy named Buzz, along with familiar faces like Hugo, who we never see in the game, Callie, and Flynn.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've seen his kind before.
I gotta tell you, I predicted global warming.
This is the third time I've done this joke. I'm sorry. Anyway, the town gets invaded by this giant blob, which is where I come in. He's right here, the Blue Dawn.
What?
That's a joke that my stream chat and I have. I don't remember where the joke started, but that's just what we call him. And just to keep that established... There. Just for my chat. Alright, let's do this. So... Oh right, I forgot you could jump! I forgot they added this in Swap Force. I didn't get an opportunity to play Swap Force, thanks to it having an unattainable trophy, but that's dope. After spending some time getting used to the controls, I encountered my first enemy, which happened to be a sheep of all things. I quickly defeated it, which allowed me to use one of my traps to capture it, and that allowed me to play as it. This feature is really dope, and now I have to capture 9 more villains for a trophy. I continued on and found my first elemental gate, which can only be opened by a trap master of that element. I skipped that one for some reason and opened another one, earning me my first trophy. Hey, not out of your element. Opening these gates is important because you get hats from these areas, which give stat boosts. Eventually, we made it to the giant blob. To defeat him, I had to destroy vats of soda around the area and feed him some nasty soda to shrink him, allowing me to trap him and finish the chapter. Back at the academy, we're introduced to a woman named Mags while we try to figure out who escaped Cloudcracker Prison. So we headed to Know-It-All Island to ask the Stoneheads there about it. At the same time, Chaos tries to build goodwill with the Doom Raiders since he saved them, but they quickly dismiss him and the Golden Queen starts to devise a plan. On the island, I find Mags, who has a villain quest for me. This one required me to play as the Gulper, and I needed to give a bunch of balloons to children. After I completed it, I got a trophy. Road to Redemption. I don't know what that did for my villain, but alright. Completing these quests evolved the villains, giving them a longer timer and extra damage. Not much really happened in this level, so I shot down a bunch of trolls, fought another boss, shot down more trolls, and completed the chapter. Alright. Portal Master rank 2. I don't know what that means, but okay. Portal Master is basically your overall level, and every time you level up, you get a reward. I'll have to reach rank 5 for the trophy. Wow, that's tough. Now that we knew who escaped the prison, we decided to go for the Chompy Mage first. We headed to Chompy Mountain to meet up with the Mabu Defense Force, but Buzz's aggressive tone scared them off, so I had to find them. These guys are some of the biggest idiots I've seen. One guy somehow locked himself inside of a jail cell, and another guy got stuck on a ledge and didn't realize he had to press a button to get down. Why would Buzz choose these morons? After finding those losers, we ended up having a small meetup with the Chompy Mage, and I shot cannons at him to get rid of him. Shortly after that, I fought a very easy mini-boss and a bunch of other enemies, leading into the mountain where, as anyone could have guessed, the Mabu got captured. So I went through the mountain and saved the Mabu, but the last one wanted to waste some time.
You don't mind if I, wait right here, do you?
Shut up! Shut up! Get the elevator working! I'm so mean to these guys, dude. And now, it was time to fight the mage. It starts with him sending a bunch of chompies, then he turns into a giant chompy and repeatedly sends out shockwaves. After that phase, this happens. What are you doing? Oh. Okay. It's the same as the first phase though. He continues to release more shockwaves, and eventually, I was able to finish him off. Okay, careful. Alright, nice. Oh, that was it. I told you I'd smoke you. I mean, more capture you, but still, I count this as smoking your pack. You're done, buddy. Pack watch. That boss was a little wild, but I'll be talking about him again on Nightmare difficulty. The cutscene after shows the raiders talking about his defeat and how he already found the Traptanium the queen needs for her plan, while Chaos spies on them, coming up with a plan to sabotage them. But with our first target down, our next goal was to head to Phoenix Sanctuary to protect a bird who our next target, Pepper Jack, was aiming to capture. We meet up with a woman named Tessa, who first appeared in Swap Force. You know, the game I had to skip because it has an unattainable trophy. But anyway, she and Flynn head off to scout ahead while I deal with the enemies. On the way though, I met a legend I've been hearing about for over a year now.
Freeze!
Oh,
Freeze!
it's him! It's him!
I aim to freeze.
It's him!
Chill Bill.
Chill Bill the goat, dude. It's him. Oh no. He really does aim to freeze. Okay. Nah, but I aim to smoke your pack, dude. You're a dope character, but get out of here. You suck. I'm definitely trapping this fool. Oh, we have to use the goat, man. Okay, he does have the theme. Let's go. I don't know if this is copyrighted, but... how do I actually kill them? I don't know how he works, but cool to finally meet this guy I've heard about for over a year at this point. Moving on from the goat, after going through this egg factory, we come face to face with Pepper Jack, but it leads into an arena battle instead of a boss fight. These were also in the previous games, and it consists of 3 stages of increasingly difficult enemies. During the final stage, I had to fight this guy.
Who wants a piece of me?
Nobody. Nobody cares about you. Nobody got a piece of this fool because this fight was really easy, but he was the 10th villain I captured, which earned me a trophy. After defeating him, Jack had one more trick up his sleeve, but Chaos popped in and interrupted him, and he apparently had his own way to defeat us. He did nothing! Now it was time for us to take Pepper Jack down. At the start of the chapter, I unknowingly had the opportunity for a trophy. All I had to do was shoot 8 troll transports in this section, and that earned me... hey, Cannon Completus. After the flying section, I just made my way through the level, and there isn't much to mention about it. However, on my journey, I was introduced to something I did not want to see again.
Skystone Smash game.
Okay, I guess it's finally time to play Skystones. Before I explain why I didn't like it, let me explain how it works. Both teams have a health bar, and the goal is to reduce the opponent's health to 0. Each team has a set of Sky Stones to defend the health bar, and each stone has a set amount of damage and health tied to it. If a stone is placed in an empty slot, it'll hit the opponent's health. If the opponent runs out of stones, that's also a win since they can't defend themselves. This game first appeared in Giants, and I didn't like it much, but I easily prefer this one since I feel you can defend yourself a lot better than in that game. And the way to get more Sky Stones is better, since you get them from defeating bosses instead of being forced to go out of your way to buy them, and it overall just felt like a chore back then. It's still kind of a chore in this game, but it's hard to lose since you're handed the good Sky Stones for free. Oh, and I need to collect 20 Sky Stones for the trophy Sky Stone Scavenger. But after the Sky Stones fight, it was time to face Pepper Jack. Oh, and I'm serving these hands, boy. His main attack is leaving puddles of grease on the floor and rushing toward me, which is pretty manageable. Later on, I had to dodge a bunch of lasers, which got crazy at the end, and then he repeated the same attacks. After I got him below half health, he started dropping meat from the sky, which disappeared after some time, while still sending lasers. But after some time, he was done. Where did he aim? There we go. Alright, that wasn't that bad, just it was a little annoying. I don't have a fire trap, unfortunately. Another villain down, and yeah, he was a little annoying, but this is nothing compared to Nightmare difficulty. Though his defeat didn't faze the queen much, who only cared about her plan to get all the gold in Skylands. They also kept bullying Chaos and eventually abandoned him, so he came up with a plan that we'd see later on. In the meantime, we headed to Rainfish Riviera to find Max's information squid to learn more about the Raiders' plan. I had to fight a few bosses and play Sky Stones, which eventually led to this crane I used to drop some pirates into the water and move Max to the other side, but I couldn't pass up an opportunity to troll a little bit. Ah, she doesn't react to that? I'll do it again.
Not funny anymore.
Okay, she does react to it, alright. One more.
Hey, not bad all.
No, one more. You deserve it.
Remember, I am undead. I will haunt you.
Alright.
How about you drop me off on the other side then?
No, it was better to just send you into the water. That was a lot more funny. Skipping to the end of the chapter, we lure a rainfish into the crane since it ate Mags' squid and go inside to grab it, ending the chapter. Squid Seeker. Wow, that's tough. What is that? Hey, achieve Portal Master rank 5. Nice. That was not very tough. I literally just played the game and managed to do it. Back at the academy, we were going to use the squid, but this happened instead. It's Kaos! I knew it! Because we both wanted to get rid of the raiders, he decided to ally with us, definitely not for his own gain. He seems very genuine. But with his help, we now knew who our next target was, the Dreamcatcher. This led us to Monster Marsh so we could thwart her plans. The marsh is cursed and full of some messed up enemies, and they were actually able to kill me at one point while I was so close to leveling up. After that whole fiasco, I realized something.
Villains are stronger in this zone.
I forgot I could have used a villain the whole time. And that's why I really like the trap system, since you can avoid death with them, if you remember to use them, that is. After that, I rescued a fairy named Marcia, who led me through the swamp. Along the path, there were a bunch of coins to pick up. I didn't realize it, but collecting 20 of these coins earned me a trophy. No coins left behind. Moving on, I struggled with some more enemies and made it to a Mabu village that was under a sleep trance from the Dreamcatcher so she could siphon their dreams. I woke up the Mabu, angering her and leading to another arena battle. The battle was pretty easy, but I'm gonna be real with you, I can't stand the Dreamcatcher. Just listen to the garbage she says.
TTYL.
Oh, hell no.
Bruh, nobody says that. We found out the Dreamcatcher was stealing the Mabu's dreams to learn more about Traptanium, and she found an observatory housing even more Mabu who know about it, so it was time to head there and deal with her. There's not much to mention in this chapter, but I was getting tired of hearing this stupid Dreamcatcher speak. Like, I get it's a kid's game and it's meant to be corny at times, but she's too corny. I eventually fought this dude named Hoodsickle, who was one of the coolest looking enemies in the game, and he was also the 20th Skystone I collected. Not only that, but he's also really good. Oh my. This dude's good. But a few minutes later, I was finally able to deal with the Dreamcatcher.
You're too late, Sky Ruiner. I've already learned the secrets of Traptanium from these scientists' dreams.
So then why don't you just escape? Why do villains do this? You literally know the secrets, so instead you fight me? Just bring it back. Bring it to your guys. I'm not even gonna waste time showing this fight. It's dirt easy, even on Nightmare difficulty, so I'll just skip to when I defeated her. Oh, what a loser. Dang, she was annoying. Like, just her personality. She talks too much, dude. With another raider down, our next destination was the Mystic Mill, but this fool buzzed since the Mabu Defense Force there.
Those idiots couldn't find hay in a haystack.
Nah, Kaos is actually right. As literally anyone could have guessed, they got boarded, locked up, and put on a course for a storm. After regaining control of the ship, Flynn and I got into another flying section, and if I took down 20 Evilican runners, I would earn the trophy Evilican Eliminator. So I shot everyone I saw, and I was easily able to get the trophy. The Mabu and I went through the mill, and to my surprise, they were actually fighting. The chapter ended with another boss fight, which was pretty easy. Kaos tells us the raiders need a very stinky goo to make their weapon work, which comes from the secret sewers of Supreme Stink. We're back to these stupidly long names. Y'all remember the twin spouts of Ultra Major Minor? Man, even though I just played that game a few months ago, saying that made me feel a little nostalgic. Anyway, I made my way through the sewers and destroyed enemies with Hoodsickle, including a boss. There was also a trophy for getting through this area without getting hit by goo, so I fell into the goo multiple times. We'll be back for that trophy. The chapter ends with yet another arena battle since the fish people didn't believe I was a Skylander, even though they saw me save them multiple times. This is a waste of time if you ask me. Since we cut off their goo supply, the raiders needed another plan, so Dr. Cranecase decided they should bury some cheese and grab it 10,000 years into the future. I'm serious. They need Kaos to pull this off though, since only Portal Masters can time travel, so they sent him an invite to his old Willikin factory, and the whole crew falls for it, so that's where we headed next. A good old case of dramatic irony. On the way, I easily defeated another boss with Hoodsickle, and I rode this train to the end of the line, earning me a trophy. Oh, legendary treasure. Right, the rails. At the end of the chapter, we had to take down Dr. Crankcase. Throughout the fight, he drops from the sky to attack me and sends out these barrels that mutate if they fall into the goo. Halfway through, he shows me this. Oh, he got captured. The fight doesn't change much, besides dropping goo on me. He also starts sending these mechs after me, which I easily dispose of, and later on, Wolfgang comes in to steal chaos. Finally, he reveals a shredder and uses all of his other attacks, and eventually, I took him down. What do you mean? You got destroyed, dude. This dude has to be kind of good though, right? Because if I didn't have a villain, he probably would have destroyed me. Crankcase capture. Crankcase may have been down, but since they had chaos, we headed to the clock of Skylands to stop them. But this man Wolfgang actually did something smart.
Have you ever considered just wrecking their ship?
I mean, that's a fair point. They've done that once though. In Skylanders Giants, they tried.
This just got personal.
Dang, Kronk's mad, bro. With the help of this dude named Da Pinchy, I completed multiple Steam Lock puzzles and dealt with enemies on the way, eventually leading to a fight with Crosscrow. I'm only mentioning this guy because little did I know, he was going to be a big help on Nightmare difficulty. But we made it to Chaos, so surely we'd be able to save him, right? Wait, what? He actually went? You would think we'd be screwed, but Da Pinchy came in clutch, and he was able to send us into the future to take down Wolfgang. This chapter is easily my favorite. The way they characterize Wolfgang here makes him my favorite of the raiders, the actual level design is nice, and overall, it's cool that they diverted us into the future, and it's not like it doesn't make sense. Obviously, this isn't award-winning material, but creativity like this is why I'm enjoying the franchise so far. However, I did have to question something. Although I will say, how does nobody have the technology to just beat Wolfgang in the first place? Yeah, like nobody has the technology to just beat a guy who has past technology? I get there are just Mabu here, but come on, someone had to have been able to have the technology to beat this dude. Maybe I'm looking too far into it, since, I mean, this is a kid's game. Maybe they don't expect adults and definitely not kids to point out the plot holes, but I don't know, man. Eventually, we went into space to knock the power out of Wolfgang's big bad woofer, and I had an opportunity to get the trophy just to be safe. I had to destroy the entire force field, and once I did, I got the trophy. After one more phase, it was time to take Wolfgang down. This is my favorite fight of the game. It starts with Wolfgang rushing at me with various attacks, then it switches to a side scroller where I have less space to avoid him. Once he's below half health, I have to dodge increasingly crazy lasers, and finally, I have to fight him while dodging the lasers. Hoodsickle made this a little too easy, but overall, I think this fight is really fun, and here's when I defeated him. Nice. You got smoked, fool. Unfortunately, the queen still managed to get the 10,000-year-old cheese, allowing her to have the power to shrink the academy and have control over Skylands. Nobody knew where her base was until Buzz happened to remember there were some pirates in the Sky Highlands who have a prison that could specifically point towards gold. I guess they had to find some way to let us find her. We first needed to steal a rocket from some trolls so we could reach the Sky Highlands. Not much of note happened in this chapter, except for what I did here. There we go. Wait, this entire area was not needed. I thought I was doing this for a reason. I needed the right side area, so... What? This isn't required either. Where am I actually supposed to go then? I definitely can't bring the bomb from all the way back here, right? Yeah, no, there's no way. Wait, what? I actually did it? I don't think that's how I was supposed to do it. Yeah, see, there's a power coil. Yeah, that's what I was supposed to do.
And don't forget those bombs, too!
I can't tell if what I did was smart or dumb. I can't tell. After completing another arena battle, we stole the rocket, ending the chapter. Now we headed to the Sky Highlands on a bunch of vehicles y'all might recognize, and I had yet another opportunity for a trophy. To get Lookmaw, no rockets, I had to take down 30 pirates without using Mags's rockets. This trophy is really easy, although when I took down my 30th enemy, I wasn't sure how to finish the section, but I eventually figured out I just needed to grab the rockets, and I got the trophy. There we go. The rest of the chapter had me climbing the pirate's tower, shooting down more pirates from my allies, and having to fight the boss twice in Skystones. By the way, this dude's awful. Who puts their Skystone in an empty slot when they have to defend other stones? But anyway, I took the boss down, and I was so close to level 20, and we used the pirate's prison to find out the queen was in the Golden Desert. We probably should have assumed that. We arrived at the desert, and I was instantly able to reach level 20. All the way up. Now that I got that trophy, I could finally use other Skylanders. Blue Dawn is still one of the goats though. During the first section of the level, I had to shoot at chompy worms, but for the Guardian Gladiator trophy, I also had to shoot 10 cacti, and during the second catapult section, I got the trophy. However, after that section, the queen came out of nowhere, turned Callie into gold, and kidnapped her. Kaos would never have the balls to do that. This led to the final arena battle, where I tried out my new favorite Skylander, Wildfire, and fought another boss, and after some time, we ended the chapter. We pissed the queen off real bad, so she decided to send her weapon to the academy. So it was time to head to her lair and finish her off. Around her lair are a bunch of floor tiles, some marked with X's and spikes, and I had to go through the chapter without falling or getting hit for the trophy High Wire Act. I had a close call early on, but this trophy ended up being really easy. And now, it was time to finally take her down. She starts by releasing shockwaves and later summoning turrets I had to destroy. When I got her to half health, she started shrinking the arena while I still had to attack her. After that, I had to jump from platform to platform, dodging golden orbs, and then I got stuck on one platform with 4 turrets shooting at me, and I had to destroy them. After one more dodging phase, this is what her true second phase is. What is that? Throughout this, I have to dodge shockwaves and saw blades and destroy more turrets. After this one, I had to run away from her while destroying blockades, ending with her being crushed. There we go. Got smoked. You suck. And I could trap her too, so I might have the most overpowered villain now to use in nightmare mode. You would think that would be the end, but no. To nobody's surprise, Kaos betrayed us to get access to the Raider's Traptanium. He absorbs it, becoming empowered by it, and he does something I honestly didn't expect. He starts targeting me. Not me as in a Skylander, no, me, the Portal Master. The devs went wild with Kaos this time around. Listen to what he does here. Dude, he's talking through the portal! Throughout this final chapter, he continued to talk through the portal and berate me, and this really solidified that this is my favorite Skylanders game. I'm glad they decided to go all out with the creativity in this game. But we can't forget about the trophies, and in this chapter, I had to collect 9 coins during a falling section, so let's see if I did that. Oh, I missed the trophy. I didn't realize that it was that part. We'll come back later, but for now, I made it to the final boss. Honestly, this fight takes a long time, and I'm gonna have to talk about it again on Nightmare Mode anyway, so I'll skip to the end, but just know, this boss is sick. He continues to break the 4th wall, and you'll understand why I'm saving him for Nightmare difficulty soon. There we go, finally. That fight takes so long. I don't have a Chaos Trap, unfortunately. Chaos Comeuppance, and Savior of Skylands 4. Nice, dude. After Chaos's defeat, Glumshanks escapes his lair as it explodes, and Buzz opens the Skylands Academy to everyone, and that's where the story ends. But now that it's over, I still had some miscellaneous trophies to clean up. We'll go through them chapter by chapter, starting with chapter 3, where I had to destroy 4 Chompy statues. The statues are found inside Chompy Mountain, and I just had to destroy them with the cannons. In chapter 4, I simply had to destroy a dropship. In the section right before Chill Bill, these dropships popped up and I used Food Fight to take one down. In chapter 6, I had to destroy 4 pipes using the crane. This trophy is very easy, there's nothing to explain. However, in chapter 8, I had to be careful because I needed to knock 12 golden balls off of a waterfall. This trophy is located where you're seeing now, but it's more complicated than it sounds because the balls are very fragile, kind of like in real life, if you catch my drift. Anyway, this makes it very easy to fail the trophy, so let's see how it went. I might as well just take my fingers off of X. And just so I don't accidentally hit my paddle, let me switch to the default profile. Okay, these two are right next to each other, be careful. These things are apparently very fragile. Okay, 6 more. Be careful here. Okay, 5 more. Nope. Ooh, I did not expect to roll it that fast. Gentle hits, gentle hits. Okay, move to over here. Move that. Okay, 3 more. Over here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't break, don't break. Are you Oh my gosh, really? I couldn't move it otherwise. Dude, I could not move it. I gotta waste all that time going through this whole chapter again.
A few moments later.
Alright, it's time again. Dude. What happens if it gets stuck on the side, though? I guess I gotta... Careful. I don't like how close it is to the wall. I don't like how close that was. 2 more. Just take it slow. Take it slow. Much as I'd like to speed through this, no. I'll roll to the side a little bit. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, it's gone. Last one. Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to move it that fast. Dude, you would end up all the way over here. And I can't see over here either. Dude, why does it have to be all the way over here? How did that even happen, dude? Maybe it'll roll. Yeah, here we go, here we go. There we go. Whew, ball sprawler. Alright, that trophy should not have been that stressful. In chapter 10, I still had to be careful because I had to get to Splash Station without touching goo. If you recall, I didn't even try for this trophy earlier, but it was time to actually go for it. Whoa! What the why? I did not see that guy. Wow. Okay, seriously. Now it was time to actually go for it. It's a pretty easy trophy though. I just needed to not be clumsy, and I used my other snapshot who had the bow upgraded to pick the goo chompies off from afar, and I was able to get this done. Nice, no goo for you. The rest of the trophies are really easy. In chapter 12, I had to destroy 5 Da Vinci statues. I was able to get this done within the first minute of the chapter. In chapter 14, I had to complete the arena battle without getting hit with the exhaust. I don't know how I missed this earlier. It's as simple as paying attention to when the exhaust is about to activate and not being in its radius. Finally, I returned to chapter 18 to collect those 9 coins. Now that all the miscellaneous trophies were done, I now had to move on to Chaos Mode. This is a mode consisting of 9 challenges, and I must protect a box from a total of 100 waves of enemies spanning the 9 challenges. There are 2 trophies tied to this mode, one for killing 100 enemies and one for earning 50 stars, which just means completing every challenge. At the start of a challenge or after finishing a wave, there is a build phase where I can build elemental turrets to help me out. This mode isn't very difficult, especially if you play on a lower difficulty, but it's a grind to get done. I did the entire thing in a single stream, and if it wasn't for me being able to speak with my community, I would have been bored out of my mind. Sometimes it got a little tough with enemies such as the Painatas popping up, but for the most part, it was just repetitive, so I'll just show you the trophies. Oh, there's the 100 enemies. Nice. Oh, we're done. Alright, give me that XP. There we go. Star. Nice, dude. The final thing I needed to do before Nightmare difficulty was complete all of Brock's arena challenges. There are 6 arenas in total, the 6th being a special one that I had to buy access to first, and I got a trophy after unlocking it. And there we go, Arena Mogul. I first experienced these in Giants, and they're the exact same as the arena battles throughout the story, except I can only use 1 Skylander and 1 trap, and there are modifiers to switch the gameplay up. At the end of the day, they're still just arena battles, so there isn't much to mention, even with the modifiers in play. Until we get to my most hated modifier, Don't Get Hit. This modifier limits my health to 1, so a single hit from anything will end the run. I also get a shield during the run, so I can take an extra hit, but instead of explaining, let me just show you the fails. Are you kidding me? I try to deal with that enemy and then a laser just has to go off right then, dude. Another one, nice. And the queen's about it. Back up, back up! No! I couldn't move in time! Wow, dude. Shut up, Brock, I don't want to hear it. I couldn't move out of the way in time! This fool's so slow! I should have swapped back to the Golden Queen right there. What did I even get hit by? That it? Alright, we got it finally. Okay, let me pay attention. It's no damage again. What? Why did it switch me out? I didn't even press anything. I can't swap back to the queen. Dude, there's no way to anticipate the laser. And I couldn't swap to this queen. What was that? Even traps when they get hit, that's it for them too. That was not the case last time. Don't change up the rules out of nowhere. That's bad design. I didn't get hit by anything. What are you talking about? He got a hit off at the very last second. Dude, why can't I just be why can't I have invincibility frames when I switch? Oh my gosh, the laser was not there. It was back. This challenge is stupid. All right, let me butt in here. The laser did not get me. It was the enemy because I couldn't kill him fast enough. Let's focus. Wow, what a great start. This game can die, bro. Let's just put the laser right where I'm at. You know, don't even give me a chance to move out the way. Let's just put the laser right there. I love this challenge so much, dude. After I finished that hell, the final arena was an absolute breeze since the no-hit mod wasn't there. So after a few hours of this grind, I finally got the trophy. That's it. Where's my trophy? Chairman of the Rumble Club. Let's go. And finally, it's time for Nightmare difficulty. As always, this is the hardest difficulty in the game. You take a lot more damage and food heals you for less. This is where my huge collection of Skylanders really shines. Since it's the same story, just harder, I'm not going to go over everything again. However, there are a few bosses I'd like to go over, starting with the Chompy Mage. I'll just show you what happened. What the? Okay, I don't remember that many shockwaves. Dang, bro. Dang, man. Yeah, no, it was only like one wave on medium. Oh my gosh. I'm dead. I'm dead. Yeah, I can't move. Dang, dude. Look at this. You can barely move around. Yeah, this is how Nightmare difficulty goes. They basically smoke some insane drugs and start spamming their attacks. But if you thought this was bad, let me show you Pepper Jack next. Let me jump over. Oh my gosh, what is that? This is dumb. Like, look at, where are you even supposed to go after a while? What? Can we chill out? Dang, bruh. Dude, there's no space. There's genuinely no space. There's like barely any space at all. Dude, was this difficulty even tested? Like, what is that? I died! What was I supposed to do? Like, what? Look! This is the only free spot! No way this mode was tested, right? But yeah, you get the gist at this point. Some bosses are easier than others, and some caught me off guard, but besides those bosses, this playthrough honestly wasn't too bad, and I got to just talk with my chat throughout the whole thing. By the way, if you ever want to see these Platinums live, I stream here on YouTube every Friday through Sunday at 1 PM Pacific time, unless I'm editing a video. The difficulty didn't ramp up again until the Golden Queen fight. It started off relatively normally, but when her turret popped up, I started to realize where the difficulty came from. The turrets were easily the most dangerous part of the fight, but I don't mind it as much as this one actually feels difficult rather than spammy like Pepper Jack. Something funny happened after the first phase though. What is going on? Why are there two of them? What is that? The turrets continued into the second phase, and they were still destroying me, but I eventually pulled through without using too many Skylanders. So at this point, you might be thinking, how could this be the hardest Nightmare difficulty if you pretty much flew through the whole thing? Well, viewer, I didn't include that most people say this solely because of chaos. As cool as this fight is, it's the epitome of spam. Melee Skylanders are basically useless due to all the shockwaves and the area of effect around him, but it's also hard to get hits at range because you're constantly being forced to move. He also sends these elemental bullets out that must be destroyed by the corresponding element, and if you get hit, you'll get one-shotted or very close to one-shotted. My main strategy was to use the Queen's turret for chip damage while I attempted to avoid the shockwaves. He also has his Doom Sharks from the first game, which deal tons of damage, but can also heal you if you dodge them perfectly. His second phase adds a sword attack to the mix, but this phase wasn't very hard. His final phase adds these laser attacks, but he's also the most spammy at this point. I started switching to the older Skylanders so I could preserve my ranged Skylanders, but I eventually lost one of my last ranged Skylanders anyway. But remember how I mentioned Crosscrow all that time ago? I decided to switch to him now, and he was a huge help. He could get a lot of shots off right before Kaos's shockwaves, and since he's a trap, he just needs to recharge instead of dying. Even with that in mind, I continued to lose more and more Skylanders, but I was finally learning when I could switch to Crosscrow, and I was making dents in his health. I had been at this for over 30 minutes by this point, and I really did not want to fail. I'm gonna shut up now. Let's see if I can pull this off. He's so close, dude. Let's go! Let's go, dude! That took way too long, man. That took way too freaking long, man. What a crazy boss. Dream, a little nightmare, and... impossible! Let's go, man. Whew, that took a long time. That was crazy. I have no idea how long it took me to platinum this game since there is no hour counter in-game, and that hour counter you see in the corner is inaccurate. The game is not on the PlayStation Store for it to track, so yeah, I have no idea, but probably about 15 to 20 hours. This game was a lot of fun, definitely my favorite Skylanders game so far. It was really creative with stuff like the futuristic level, the Doom Raiders as a whole, and Kaos talking specifically to me, like that's really cool. So, yeah, I definitely agree with a lot of people saying this is the best Skylanders game. As for what's next, I've said in the past that Swap Force would be done last since it has an unobtainable trophy, but I'll make a deal here. If this video gets a lot of support, not what Skylanders Giants did at the time of recording this, not those views, more close to the first game, I will do Swap Force on my alt account since I'm not putting it unobtainable on my main account, just because I've been feeling like playing it after playing this game. And then we'll play Superchargers and Imaginators. So if this video gets a lot of support, I'll do it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. If you haven't seen me platinum the other Skylanders games, there's a playlist on the end screen. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.